Hi, this video is about the summarizing questions of activity 7, solids and SPT. S1, discuss your thinking with your neighbors and decide which of the following claims is true for each state of matter. First is particles are in constant motion. This is for three of the states are true. Um, for the three states, when they are in their room temperature, not heated, um, uh, their particles is in a constant motions. For the gas, that is the spread out, and the distance between the particles is very much because of that is particles is in the constant speed. For the liquid, that is attractive forces between the particles of the liquid, and because of that liquid is in the constant speed. For solid, constant motions is in their place, that the solid is a fixed shape and the particles motions is in their place, and because of that they have the constant motion. Second is particles are spread by some amount of space. For the gas, the space and the distance between the particles is very much because of the spread out. We see in the activities that we did in this experiment that we did in this activity. For the liquid, when we add the food color to the liquid, because of this small empty space between the particles, the food color spread of the all of the liquid. For the solid, I think when we add the food colors for the solid, take times, that is the temperature decreases, because of that take times to that food colors spread out all of the ice. Particles constantly vibrate around a fixed position. This is only for solid true, that solid is a fixed shape, and the particles have a constant motions in their place, and these motions called vibrate. The space between particles is very large in comparison to the size of the particles. This is for the gas states. True that gas particles is the space and the distance between the particles is very much, and because of that is true for the gas. Um, the other one is particles collide with some attraction between them. This is for liquid states true, that there is attractive electrostatic forces between the particles of the liquid, and because of that attractive, and it has constant motions, because of that is true for the liquid. Others is particles have kinetic energy. I think this is for the three states, because of that gas particles, because of the space and the distance very large between them, they it has a constant motions. They have the kinetic energy. For the liquid, because of the attractive forces between the particles of the liquid, and they have the constant motions too, they have the kinetic energy. For the solid, kinetic energy is very little because of the fixed shape, and that their particles is vibrate in their place. Particles are strongly attached to each other. I think this is only for the solid. Is true, that is the solid is a fixed shape, and because of that the particles is very close to each other and attached to each other. The last one is space between particles will increases as this substance is heated. For the three of the states is true, because when we heated, that we see in the experiment that we did in the activities, when we heated the gas, liquid and solid, the distance between the particles increases, and they goes further apart each other, and because of that the space between the particles is increases. S2, imagine that you are trying to loosen the metal lid on a glass jar that is at room temperature. If you hold the metal lid under running water, you can lose the lid. Which do you need to use? Cold water, room temperature water, or hot water to lose the lid? I use the hot water, that when we put the metal lid under the hot water, because of the increases in temperature, the particles starts to moving, and average kinetic energy increases, and because of that space between the particles increases, and we can lose the metal lid easily. S3, a student is melting beeswax to make a candle. The wax starts out at 25 Celsius and melts at 63 degrees Celsius. Construct a nano energy diagram for the period when the wax is heating up but not yet at the melting point. I draw this nano energy diagram when is wax heated in heat interaction, that energy gives and increasing kinetic energy, because when the wax is solid and gives the energy and increases in the temperature, the particles starts to moving and speed out, and because of that starts to moving and further apart, and because of that the kinetic energies increases. For second part, construct a nano energy diagram for the period when the wax is melting. For the melting wax, energy is gives to melting. I think the increases in potential energy, that is melting is both of these and in two states in the melting, liquid and solid, and because of that the potential energy increases. See, the students lets the beeswax cool back to 25. Construct energy diagrams to show the change in kinetic energy and potential energy during the cooling and solidification process. For the cooling wax is gives the energy to the surroundings, that is cooler, and temperature is decreases. Because of the decreases in the temperature, the motions of the particles of the wax is decreases, and because of that the kinetic energy of the particles is decreases. For the solid wax, this is the also gives its energy to the surroundings, that is decreases in the temperature, but that is in one state is potential energy decreases.